How do we start to learn to trust ourselves in each moment with each mark? The process is intuitive, automatic. It requires leaning into all the places and spaces within ourselves, letting go of what we thought we knew or what we've been told, and diving deeper into the self. Awareness happens over time, slowly, and at times quickly, just depending on what your life experience has been. And this can happen in art and this can happen in life. But when we're talking about mark making and diving deeper into the self, we're trying to find what excites us and what lights us up. And at the same time, we're paying attention to each movement, each breath, each sound, the way the mark feels, the way the hand moves across the paper, the way we can dive deeper into the experience of ourselves. This is the magic and this is the mystery that's always guiding us. And we'll learn the more we create, whether it's in art or life, that there will be ups and downs, highs and lows. But we can also incorporate this into our practice, into our mark making, into our drawing, into our painting, because life is not separate from art. We are living artists. The ability to tap into the wellspring of being rises from the center of understanding and sometimes not understanding. We hold knowing on one hand and not knowing on another. The two often oscillate between each other as we move forward and backward in time and space. It's abstract and deep, and it doesn't have to be. It could just be pure emotion, pure raw energy, pure expression coming out onto the page, but it's how you start to arrange these shapes and colors and forms that tell the story. It's also learning to let go in the process. Not only letting go physically in the mark and with the movement, but internally with the fears that we hold, what it's supposed to be. Like either we perceive it in our minds or someone has told us what it is. But art and creativity is out there beyond what anyone could teach us, because it's learning to get closer and more intimate with the self. Although this may look like a simple drawing and mark making practice, it's very complex because it requires diving in, setting sail for the unknown, and just letting go. It's hard to let go because sometimes fear gets in the way, or other people's ideas or thoughts are hanging out. But what do you want to create, and where do you want to move to, and how is it feeling in your body, and how is it feeling in your heart, and how is it feeling in your mind? When these three things are working together in art and life, there's a synergy that happens, harmony. Whether it's received by anyone else is not the question. It's about how do you connect deeper to yourself? How do you find the answers moving through the chaos in art and life? What are you called to just pick up and discover? And where do you want to let the inner child wander? This is like about reclamation of an energy, of an emotion, of a self, of somewhere maybe we've been locked up for years. It's all coming out onto the surface of the page. Oftentimes we're blocked because we move into these moments, tapping into spaces that may have been blocked for years, locked up. We think that there's a right way, when really all there is our way. In the drawing process, in the mark making process, we can learn to see that we're all capable of learning to connect with ourselves, and we're all able to free ourselves in each moment. The drawing practice, the mark making practice is a way to express all that's been locked up. The more we work, the more we learn to see ourselves truly for what we love, and it will be different for all of us. Some desires will be stronger than others, It's not about what I'm doing. It's about showing you that there can be freedom in the process, and that we don't have to attach to how it used to be or what it looks like out there. What does it look like in here, inside of you, is the question, right? We want to move into that place and space and see what's going on, so we can oscillate between the internal emotions and energy and the marks, the color, the materials on the page. So as we lean into feeling the surface, feeling the material, pay attention to what you love in the process of that mark and that moment and that movement. And repeat this over and over and over because, yes, it's a practice, and we don't unlock the doors, and the doors don't unlock for us unless we're willing to do the work to get there. It's scary, I know. Believe me, I know. It's even scarier to say, yes, this is what I'm doing, despite anything else or what anyone says or thinks. But it's about showing up to the moment and really moving with all that is and saying, yes, this is it. This is my declaration. This is my reclamation. These are my marks. This is the moment. This is life unfolding for me, and learning to enjoy the journey and the process of self-discovery. A simple mark making and drawing practice can benefit us so much. We don't even have to desire to be full-time artists in order to benefit from this practice. We can learn how to connect to ourselves. We can learn how to free ourselves. We can learn that the emotions are all valid. From the light to the dark, there's a full spectrum of emotions, just like a full spectrum of color. And we are always being shaped and formed in each moment. So as we develop the freedom and the sensibility and connect to the surface with the materials, we learn to see anew each time. And it is new each time. If you're evolving through this process in art and life, you'll always be changing. You'll always be growing. There is no end point. This scares us at first, but once we can wrap our minds around it, we can free ourselves and open our hearts more to the process of self-discovery, and that internal memory comes alive. This is life. This is art, moving one and one together. There is this momentum and energy that happens on the surface of a page. There is a revelation and a revolution here for you right now just by showing up. It doesn't have to look pretty, but it can look pretty, and it doesn't have to be one way or another. It just has to be your willingness to show up, to create, to dream, to believe, to learn how to see again and again and again. There's this infinite wellspring of discovery that happens in each moment. As we open more and more, we can start to uncover those doors that have been locked for centuries. We can start to realize that this is what I love. The strange, the eccentric, the weird, the loose, the free, the raw, the expressive, the light. Whatever you're attracted to, whatever you love, will start to naturally come through. You'll try to leave it behind, but you won't be able to. You'll wonder, what the heck are you doing at times? but there'll be something that you've opened way down deep that you won't be able to stop. You won't be able to stop the floodgate of creativity once you open it. It just starts going. And yes, there'll be struggles, but you must keep going. You must keep finding your way. The door might lock, but then you might blow it open again just by showing up to the moment, just by finding out and experimenting, exploring, expressing, learning to trust yourself, learning to trust the process, learning to trust life, learning how to connect into all that is through the creative process, through the mark making process, through the art process. This is more than just a mark. It's more than just a moment. It is your life showing you that it's possible to be free.